There we go.
Hello, everybody. We're a couple minutes late, but Miss Sheila had to go play grandma and rescue kids from school and things. And my phone died, and it was dying, and I went through like three different things. They sent me the wrong phone the first time. I mean, it's just been a nightmare. Finally, I got the right phone today, and we found out that because of the old phone dying as it was, it just cut off things. I only have my one original email. I have to copy over all my Crystal Directions email, all my other stuff.
You can't. Is it the same kind of phone?
Yeah.
So you could go to the store and they'll transfer it for you.
Well, I'm gonna trust me. The store and I are gonna have a long talk about this because that's been my day all day.
My little screaming goat. Everybody loves my screaming goat.
I love your.
Well, hello, Helen. Helen from warm California.
Yes, and Barbara Berkman from New Jersey. I think it's hot over in New Jersey. I don't think it's a matter of warm.
And well, how hot is it with you?
Oh, it's got only in the 90s today. It's going to rain tomorrow. We have had the most incredible summer. We've had 3 days where it got to 100. And the nightmare on this is that means that when winter comes, we have the same thing. We're going to have snow and crap and all the stuff that you're used to in Colorado, but we're not.
Well, we had a few over 100 already, which was really.
I know it's been hot all around us. I'm sitting there. I was talking to a lady in Minnesota one night, and it was still 100 degrees where she was, and it was 77 here.
Yeah, that's weird. That's bizarre. Yeah, everybody on the East Coast has been just roasting.
And they have in the middle of the country, in the Dakotas and Nebraska and Wisconsin. I know. I was talking with Scott about it too.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone.
Yes.
This is my new series. This is going to be set up as a series of podcasts and downloadable things so you can get it all the time. There are only 88 in Central Florida, so yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, we're 75 degrees right now here in Colorado.
Yeah, I was in Colorado.
When?
3 years ago. You had.
Oh yeah, you were. I even have my booties on.
Oh my God. I would put my leg up, but I think they'd have to take me back to the hospital for doing that. Anyway, so my nightmare now is having to reset up my whole phone.
Yeah. Take it to the people that know a lot. It's easier. They just hand it to them. They know what to do. They have this figure. They plug it in. They transfer it all.
Yeah, I've got a little cord that's supposed to plug in, but I've been told that won't work. That thing they sent it with it now, but it doesn't work.
Anyway. Let them do it. I always let them. I was like, you know these phones, you do it. That's what I say.
This is not a show about technology. This is a show about Sheila, and it's part of Psychic Profiles. And I've already had over 10 psychic readers, mediums, astrologers, numerologists, folks. You'll recognize your names when we get there. Linda G is going to be on with me Sunday afternoon doing the same. And this is I feel like Stephen Colbert with my questionnaire. And I'm going to ask each psychic the same set of questions because I only think that's fair. I know a lot about Sheila because we've actually spent days together. But this is really about how we develop, because I get so many when I'm doing readings, and I'm sure you find into the same thing, Sheila. When you're doing readings for people who are like, oh, I can't get to there, or I don't know how to do it, or you were born this way. Trust me. None of us were like Venus coming up on the clamshell in that picture, rising from the sea. We're going to try to explain to you how we each have an individual journey, and you have an individual journey. And this is going together with a whole set of shows I'm going to start tomorrow on back to basics. What are the numbers? What are the cards? What are all the different little pieces? I'm going to be doing readings when I do it, but I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to help people understand how to plant their spiritual seeds. So, and Miss Sheila's a kickoff. So, Miss Sheila, when did you first realize that you had psychic abilities?
When did I first realize it? I think it was when I had an older sister. I always give her credit for this because I had an older sister. She was the third oldest. I'm 6 out of 7, so I was the 5th daughter, and she was the 3rd daughter.
Okay.
So she lived in Colorado. I lived in Kansas. Long story about that. But I went to go visit her one time, and this was after I'd already left home and stuff like that.
So you were grown up.
Yep, I was grown up. And so I went to her, and she every morning she would lay out tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
And 20, 21, 23, something along that lines. And she would lay out tarot cards, and then she said, "Here, you're supposed to be gifted a deck." So she gifted me this, a whole bunch. You know how we were back in the day. Everything had
right.
Be so superstitious. So she handed me this tarot card deck. And she kind of told me how I'm supposed to get used to it, this, that, and the other. Well, anyways, I opened it up, laid it on out, gave her a reading right then and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Oh, you're natural at it." And she was almost like jealous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was from then on, I was connected to the metaphysical side. But retroactive, going all the way back to my childhood, there was quite a few things in there that I knew what to do. I felt these things and things like that. So I didn't know what that was because, when you're a child, you think every child's like that. Everybody's
right.
But that was when my first acknowledgement and connection to the tarot cards. And then I went into palmistry. I can read your palm like crazy. You just can't do that very well on YouTube.
Yeah, we tried. I actually did one time with another reader. We put things up and tried to, it does not work.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. I have to be kind of like right there with you. And so, with palmistry, I learned about palmistry. I, went on and I just tried everything, with my pendulum. I mean, I just kind of just dabbled in everything and anything. And of course, just recently, really, I used to get hijacked. I used to call it hijacking. I didn't know exactly what it was. And it was like the universe captured my attention, and I would see this movie and I would just get downloaded by this information. And I just that was weird. And finally I understood, especially after being on YouTube, what remote viewing or situational remote viewing or something along that line. What it was. So that's how I got, into remote viewing on my channel. Or there's another word for it, but I always forget what it's called.
Remote viewing's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what it was. I'm like this stupid. I try to go into doing like covens and stuff like that. And then to do classes and stuff. But the more I learned, the less I could do my abilities. I'm like, there's something wrong. Why is it that if I'm learning all of this stuff the less I'm able to do this stuff? And finally somebody did a reading on me. And they said, "Sheila, you're a natural." That means natural means that you have and this is not like trying to my ego, but she just explained it to me in plain words. Like, "Sheila, you don't need the
push. You already have it there."
Yeah, I don't need the current misinformation teachings. And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, what a natural is totally different than somebody who is educational." You have the exact same thing, Nancy. You have the exact same thing as I
know. I was claircognizant since I was a child. Yeah.
Exactly. That, that naturalness that does not mesh with a lot of the information today. Like you have to think about the question and you have to hold your mouth right or shuffle this way or shuffle that. And that's a whole bunch of BS I've learned for my own, you know what I mean? I mean, so it's like, you think I have enough power to direct spirit and give me an answer? I don't know where you think I'm from, but I have enough power to direct spirit to give me an answer in any sort of type of way.
Well, I have a question for you. Have the people, when it's a different story if you're a kid, but have the people when you were an adult, were they supportive? I know because when I first saw you, you were a grandma sitting at her vanity reading cards in the middle of the night when all the rest of us were up terrified the COVID bug was going to come get us. And we were all up in the middle of the night. I thought you were just an insomniac like me. And then I found out that's when you got off work. But
right.
even worse. But did you find people supportive, skeptical, and how did you handle that?
No, I was raised in a very notable religion. And so I was taught from birth, literally, that any psychic or tarot card readings or anybody on this side was dealing with the devil. And therefore, it was only until when I met my sister, I was out of the church thing, and I wasn't
right.
like, and she's doing these tarot cards. I'm like, I'm gonna be a bad girl now, and stuff like that. But there was no support. There was no support from parents, and the only one I ever had support from is from that sister.
Okay. And did you have challenges sort of put in front of you so you could pick your path, how you were going to work with it?
Challenges?
I mean, inside, I find some of the biggest challenges are inside myself, believing me. Believing the voices in my head.
Okay, yeah. I had a hard time trusting the information for sure. Because when you're taught that you're supposed to listen to God and you're supposed to pray to God, and when you're taught that avenue, it was really confusing to me because a lot of people got answers from God, and I thought that was really weird. But my information came from some other place, and church never told me that was the place of spirit or whatever. And so it was really hard for me to switch from the weirdness, nothingness over here, over to actual information. And what happened was I just what is that you do? I just made as many mistakes as I possibly could until I figured it out.
Right. Well, that's all you can do. Were there any specific tools other than your sister handed you the cards and you immediately related to them? Are there other specific tools you've run into that you went, that's probably not for me, or I can work with that equally well?
I'm not sure of the question really. Other tools I don't like our big vast amount of tools that we can
like
use.
People work with crystals, people work with pictures, people work with images. People you do remote viewing and just see, so you kind of skip the card part.
Gotcha. I have dyslexia, therefore I have the hardest time remembering what a crystal. I mean, I can, if I use that crystal long enough, I'll eventually remember it. But I cannot just randomly. I can't retain that information.
Yeah, I remember.
Just like with my tarot cards, a lot of people, I have tarot cards that have words on them, and I have over 300, probably 400 cards by now. But anyways, that's a whole nother video. The addiction of it. But I navigate to cards that have words on them because I am not here to memorize every single card. And I have learned throughout the time that every time you buy a card from a different creator, they will change the meaning of the same Rider-Waite card, but in their deck it's different. And so I was really getting upset with myself because I couldn't remember, and I was reading each card the exact same for all of my decks, and I thought, I am really dishonoring the creator of the cards, the reason why I bought them. So I navigate to ones with words on them. And then it gives you a lot of words up there and gives me some intuitive connectness to that word as to what I'm reading on. Does that make any sense?
No, it makes complete sense because I have the opposite of dyslexia. I remember everything I read.
Yeah.
Which also has the other problem of how do you sort it all out and figure out what you're doing. But I really admire people who go on, because that's what I think using cards it's probably one of the reasons why you're really good with the images, because the images speak to you more than any words you remember.
True.
Did you have any particular mentors or teachers you ran into along the way?
I didn't run into them like physically, but I did at the time back in the day. We would get CDs, right? And so, yeah, if you had a car, if you were good enough, if you were you had a car within the the 90s or even the 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
you have a CD player in your car.
Mm-hmm.
And navigate. Some of my first ones are Carolyn Mace.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Yeah, I remember she was one of my first ones that I would put the CDs in, and I learned about self-esteem, and then she had the contracts and stuff like that. I wasn't really too overly thrilled about the contracts, but it explained a little bit of things to me, and then I kind of switched over to, what is his name? Why can't I think of his name? Oops, not that. Oh, hang on just a second. He passed. He passed of leukemia. Can you think of who he's?
Was he a psychic or was he a seer or was it not Edgar Casey?
No, he was a teacher. He was a teacher. A lot of people thought he was arrogant, but I could hear what I could.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. I will definitely look. Anyways, he'll come to me. I'm sure of it. I listen to him at night.
Mm-hmm.
I do, stuff. He died.
Wayne Dyer.
There we go. Thank you, Vicki. Yes, and Barbara and Jeanette.
You had like five of them who knew. I do.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I knew who Wayne Dyer did. I did not know he died of leukemia.
He did. He died of leukemia. So anyways, Wayne Dyer was one of my absolute favorites. And then from that, I went to, there were so many. I just started listening to so many. Untethered Soul was really important to me. It taught me how to disconnect from other people's words and what they're saying and how they're acting. It has nothing to do with me. It really taught me how to just be here, and disconnect. That one with the I can't think. I keep on thinking he's from Mexico, and he did the, gosh dang it. Why am I right here? I never can remember the names. Anyways, he was from Mexico, and I listened to a lot of his things. The three agreements. The three agreements. What was his name? Anyways, the whole thing is I'm trying to get to the point where I started just self listening to other people's experience a lot, and how they got through it, and a whole bunch of tools, and that spiritual awakening just started to come inside of me. Not necessarily like I believed everything that Wayne Dyer said, because I didn't.
No,
He get a little arrogant every so often. But what it did was it ignited my own truth within me. Miguel Ruiz. Yes.
Okay.
They're on it. Yeah, the three agreements. So that's what it did for me, is every time I listen to something like that, I don't listen to them as much as I used to, but that really ignited a lot. And it detangled a lot of information inside of me of why this is happening, what does this mean, and things like that.
Yes.
So that was a lot of my journey, especially throughout my 20s and throughout my 30s. I did a lot.
Did you how did you learn the difference between your psychic impressions and your imagination?
Oh, because most of the time my imagination was wrong, for one.
Yes, there's always that.
There's always that problem, right? And the psychic or the information coming from the Akashic Records, or that was another one that I learned a lot about or listened to, is the Akashic Records. Because I could relate to all that. And the Akashic Records, and through spirit and the information that's coming through, it gives me... So I don't know if maybe somebody can understand this. When somebody's standing in front of you and lying to you, it kind of hits you in your soul in a different spot where you go, this person is lying, right?
Their vibrations are wrong.
Right. So then you could have somebody standing in front of you and telling you the absolute truth, even though it's something you don't want to hear, but it's the absolute truth and it feels different.
Mm-hmm.
That's how spirit feels to me. It feels like there's truth coming through. I feel it. It's like a knowing that I had to pay attention to. It's a knowing that I had to trust. It's a knowing. And it's a practice. I practice being spiritual every day. I practice doing this metaphysical work every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I know. It's everybody else's journey, really. It's something that they have to find out what it feels like for them, kind of a thing.
Okay. And then, is there some moment when you really came to doubt yourself and you pushed through to get to the other side?
Let me see. Yeah. So, I mean, the most public one is when I first started my YouTube channel. Well, let me go back a little bit. I got the message to start my YouTube channel. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. Okay, I'll do it. And then I gathered everything, and it was actually over in here in this corner. I gathered everything, gathered my table, gathered the decoration, all of it. And he's like there. I'm like, I gathered everything, so now you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was laying in my bed and I sleep, and I woke up like in a dead heat, and I set up. I'm like, just go do one. And so I came down here, but I didn't have enough confidence to show my face. It had nothing to do with somebody seeing me or finding me, because I could care really less. I just didn't have enough confidence for them to show my face, so I showed just my hands. And I did my cards with just my hands. And so with that, I pushed through. I just posted my first video and let the cards land where they may. You know what I mean? Whatever happens. And then I started, of course, the subscribers kind of directed me in a certain type of way. Like, you needed microphone, you need this and this, that, and the other. And so they helped me a lot, really, the subscribers. And finally, my confidence that one day I just put my face on there. I'm like, just push through. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
You've got such a pretty face and such great hair. I mean, why would you not? But,
well,
okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
How do you handle skepticism, or have you had to handle it? And I mean, not just from others, and also internally.
Would you kind of help me out with that, with a little, like a scenario of some sort?
Okay. I'm kind of going through it now with my NDE, because I really didn't die, but I saw where I was going if I didn't, and apparently the doctors told me I should have been dead. And I've gotten it from a few people about, oh, well, a lot of people seem to be dying these days. And somebody who said that to me, it was in a comment, and I kind of was like, no, I really couldn't breathe, and my blood pressure was that bad, and I had to think about it, because it is true. It's hard to, and I never, despite what I went through physically and what I know I've gone through physically, I never felt that unwell, which is the weirdest of all things, but that kind of skepticism, my sort of comeback to someone who feels that way is, I'm not going to die to make you happy. I'm going to do what I need to do.
Well, my skepticism, are you kind of like saying like other readers, or my?
Yeah, I've got a little bit from other readers, like, oh, you haven't studied with da-da-da, because there's a lot of people who want a lot of credentials and papers. And I don't have any of that stuff. All I have is me.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to answer Cat 01's answer after this, if you don't mind. She has an answer.
No, fine.
After we're done. So skepticism. I've had to deal with a lot of skepticism. Like I said, I have cards that have words on them, and the first skepticism people think is that I'm not a real reader because I have word cards with red.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff,
Yeah. So my first thing is I've learned about self-esteem at this point, and I said, do not, and this is just a recommendation, but do not allow somebody to change the way you read cards. This is not a game of parentheses where if you're a real reader, if you only do this, that's not the truth. So you never be ashamed of how you read your cards. And that's one that I always put. Never be ashamed of telling somebody your truth. People don't like the truth sometimes. And I will always, oh gosh, how can I put this? Does it mean that if I liked green beans last week and this week I don't like green beans? That's not my truth. That is just a change in my, I'm talking my core truth of who I am and what I can do in life. I know my limits. I know what I should and shouldn't be doing. I don't need anybody else to tell me that I'm fake. That's one of the things when somebody's like, oh, she's just so fake. And I'm like, wow. It just shocks me that anybody would see anything other than authenticity with me, because that is always my goal. I'm not saying mistakes. I'm talking truthfulness. I may not understand the information that's coming through. That is the truth. Not every psychic or anybody out there that's reading, just because an information comes through doesn't mean that we're like decoders of spirit all the time. We may not know also.
I always tell people I have to tell you what the cards say.
Yes.
I can't fake it. And I used to read live so much for people face to face. I don't know how much of that you did, but I read a lot of psychic fairs and stuff. And it's really hard when someone's in front of you and what they desperately want you to tell them is that they have found the one, if that does exist. And when you don't, and they get kind of like, well, what do you know? Well, I know what I see in the cards, and I'm sorry it doesn't make you deliriously happy.
Yeah, I mean, we as readers have literally learned how to cushion the truth, and not like a cushion. I don't manipulate it. And like, I have to tell you this. This is a voice of compassion. This is a voice of understanding. And when I look at this information and what the cards are saying, I hope all I can do is tell you the truth. And that I think it's just our delivery. We have learned to deliver compassion with our information, whether good, bad, or indifferent. But I will always deliver the truth. That's that's what I have set inside of me to go forward. So, X of Swords, Sheila, a video that you did a year ago on JD Vance just popped up. You were spot on.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that for a while. I've been hearing that for like 3 people, including my girl Jackie, told me this exact same thing, that I saw the concentration camps and I saw the stuff with JD Vance and how, stuff like that. So if you have a chance, go back and look at it. Anybody there. So, but I hope that answers you like that.
Yeah. This one kind of goes with my next question, which is, have your abilities gone through weak and strong phases? And what do you do when you're going through those shifts?
Gotcha. So there is also something in here that I truly and 100% believe. I was born with connection. There's not a dang thing I can do to sever that connection. Not even if I die. This is a birthright for every human being on the face of this earth. You were born with connection.
Yeah, that's this comment.
Yeah, to connection. So source. My birthright. I didn't do anything to get it, and I can't do anything to remove it. So there's that. So there's no weak connection going on anywhere in my life. There never has been a weak connection. It has always been solid and true, and it's my birthright. With that said, I can in my own thinking and my own belief systems and my own actions and things like that definitely put a barrier up for the information to come to me.
Right.
Okay. It's like somebody putting, like, you're straining out, say, your almond milk, right? You got this little thing, you've riveted it up and you put it in the cheesecloth. Now, if you have 5 cheesecloths there, it's going to be a little hard to strain it. Remove the right amount of cheesecloth down to 1, and now your straining is perfect. And that's how I feel about anything that I do. If I'm on drugs, I don't smoke marijuana, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't do anything like that. If you do, that's okay. I'm just saying I don't do that. The reason why I don't do that is I felt less understanding of the information that was coming through. I'm not perfect. Of course I tried it. What do you think I am? I'm a 60s child. But anyways, I'm not saying, but or alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. It just dulls my senses. Things of that nature. I don't. If you have a heavy judgment within other people, it dulls your senses to understand or hear. So that's, I think, is maybe what everybody thinks is the weak part. My responsibility is to keep that channel clear and open. And what I think is clear and open only pertains to me. I've seen a drunk person on the corner, just out and out, got information from spirit. Okay? That's their stuff, and they got it. They learned how to do it through the veil. I don't know. But I personally cannot. So I keep my spiritual presentations that I do open. I know what my limits are, and I'm not like praying, but I'm listening. And I will always tell the universe, I'm here, I'm open, I'm listening. I'm here, I'm open, and I'm listening. So I'm open and I'm available for the information any way you can do it. That's what my journey is.
How do you protect your energy?
Well, I have. So here's my little journey about that. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, let's put a bubble around you." Didn't work. Just pretend like you're in a cone and you're, like that. That didn't work either. Block them off. Like, that didn't work either. So nothing is, all of the conventional ways that people tell me to, protect this, that, and the other, never. So here's my journey. Here's what I do. I feel everything. I feel people come onto my channel and subscribe. I feel people when they unsubscribe. I do. I've always have. Okay. I don't go chase that information anymore. Like, why don't you not like me no more? I don't do that. But I feel it. I have learned, I think, my journey and who I am and what I'm supposed to do while I'm here. Apparently, I am to feel everything and know what energy I'm walking into, what energy I'm not walking into. And I have just learned how to live with it and how to deal with it and how to still be connected to spirit and to be connected to the humans and to just, I don't know, I feel like a filter. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like a filter. And I've never been able to stop it, ever. So I don't know how other people do it. I don't know, but
do you think psychic abilities are innate, or can people develop them?
Ooh. I believe that everybody has the opportunity to develop psychic abilities from birth. I really truly believe we're born here with everybody having the same opportunity. And I am not connected to spirits, rules, regulations, and how they do it enough to tell somebody, you should have done this so that you would have been connected, or you shouldn't have done that, you should have been connected. All I can tell you is mine, and maybe help, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen people who went through absolutely severe abusive childhoods that come out incredibly kind and compassionate. Okay, that doesn't equal what we know about what we think about, right? If you come up, you should end up in cruelty, and that's not how they happen. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how that is. I think when you know if you have them or not. You know, if there's ever been a point in time and throughout your life that you've ever had one psychic event ever, that means you can develop off of that one event.
And how has your work, and I just can't even imagine what this is going to be, and not a short answer. How has your work changed your worldview or beliefs in life and death?
Are you talking about like going to work 9 to 5 kind of thing?
No. Your psychic.
Okay. Just clarifying, you know how I am. How has it changed my worldview, this work that I've done? I can always go back to the untethered soul. The untethered soul, the information that I'm getting to me. I used to take it on, like I used to wear it like a backpack, and I don't have to wear it anymore. Know it's there. I can feel it, but I don't have to take it on. And that may be something that maybe somebody's saying, oh, well, that's you protecting your energy. I don't know. But I don't have to take it on. And what I'm saying when I say I don't have to take it on is that I can look at it as if I'm looking at a piece of paper. I can read it like I'm reading a book. I can feel it like I'm touching it. But it's not mine. So I can lay it down and let the universe take care of it. It's not mine. It's not mine. It's not mine. It's not mine. Right?
Right.
So that I've been able to do. A lot of this work also is that I know how important my thinking and my feelings are, because I am also contributing to the energy and the thinking in this world. And I used to think I'm just minor. It doesn't matter if I have a bad thought, whatever. But I have watched over and over again how my thinking affects just even my immediate family or even my friends that are around me, my energy that I am producing. So I have learned to make sure that I am 100% responsible for what I'm thinking and what I'm putting out there. And to know that I am also in a human body down on this damn human earth, right? And I'm going to make mistakes, and I am never going to be perfect, and I'm never ever going to do everything exactly the way it's supposed to. There are sometimes I wish I said something that I wish I could have explained away, because I had an immediate judgment against it, and I lost an opportunity for a friend or a conversation or something along that lines. And I've just had to learn how to accept their journey. They may not be able to come back for that conversation, even though I'm willing to go, yeah, I said that wrong. Yeah, I would really like to redo that. Yeah, I'm always available for a conversation to fix and change and admit or whatever. I'm always. That's another thing that I've learned through this work, is that I am in love with hard conversations. Let's get it.
Then that goes to the next question, kind of what is one of your most powerful readings you've ever done, and what's made it so memorable? One that's really affected you, it affected the person, or maybe it didn't. Maybe you told them the truth and they didn't listen. I mean, however you would see that. But is there one kind of so people aren't afraid to make the powerful statement?
The problem with me is I have a hard time remembering the details. I can remember the feeling in the person. I'm going to go back to a person that I'm going to try to remember the story, but she, I was doing a reading. What literally just laid down in front of me, what she was here was to learn about fire, and I didn't understand it exactly at that time. And I'm like, honey, you're here to experience fire, learn about fire. And I was like, I've never come across this before. And she goes, and her last name was like Fire or Flames or something along that lines, right? I'm trying to remember the details. I may be getting him a little skewed up a little bit. But anyways, when I come across what people, like the strangest things that people are really come down here to learn about, it was just learning about fire. And I'm like, how does somebody just come down here just to learn about the element of fire? Right? And I remember that it was so memorable that I started to come across a few more things about people. Like, I've come down here just to learn about water, and has been an oceanographer. They have done nothing but dive. They have done that was their whole goal, was to come down and learn about an element. That was those things that was very memorable to me. It shifted my whole thinking about why people come to, because we always think you're coming down here to learn a lesson, and this one's here to learn about fire, an element, dirt, all of them, all of the elements. Just about learning. It's not just about learning lessons. It's also coming down here and being able to make this earth even a better person, or better place to live. I mean, she had a whole bunch of events around fire and her husband and everything. And it was like she had some serious knowledge about that. Now, is that knowledge and that collective and that energy and all of that producing education out into the world? Absolutely. It was something. It was an eye-opener for me, that just because some of the teachings that we've had in the past, 50 or whatever years, you come down here to learn something. Well, what about you coming down here to contribute something? One person who is an oceanographer who has found a microorganism that has saved something, that was their only goal, was to come down here and do that. Or that. So yeah, that was one of my memorable ones that changed and shifted my ideas and thinking and understanding of
why we're here.
Yeah, it just gave me a whole.
Why all of us are here. We're not supposed to learn maybe not a whole broad spectrum of things, but focusing on something's important.
Yeah. So it's like we funnel ourselves into, like, somebody says something clever, and we funnel ourselves into that information, and then that becomes Bible,
right?
How and why we're here and stuff like that. But it is in the spiritual work that I have found that where the real answers really are. And I do not ever attach myself to any of the learnings and teachings and stuff like that from the medical, physical stuff, because of experiences like that. Shift. I was like, I don't know. I always have this open, I don't know the real answer. This information is interesting, but I don't know the real answer. So,
well, we can't know the answer for another soul.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, absolutely. That's exact statement right there.
Okay. And have you ever had to deliver a very sensitive or complex message to someone?
Sure. I've had to deliver. I remember doing a reading, and this person was an alcoholic. It didn't, like, that person didn't tell me they were an alcoholic. The cards kept on saying there is a substance abuse problem that needs to be taken care of in order for you to move forward. And I kept on coming across it, and I would use like 3 or 4 different decks, and every time the answer came down to, again, there's a substance abuse problem somewhere in your life with somebody or whatever that needs to be taken care of. And she finally, at the end, she goes, so you think me drinking alcohol is holding me back? And I had to lovingly look at her and said, I have a feeling that is exactly the message that Spirit wants to tell you. And these are the things we just learn how to deliver. I have learned how to deliver a message with compassion. That's the only way to do it. So information delivered with compassion feels like love. So
Right.
I choose that way to do it all the time. I've learned blunt is hurtful, but compassion is love.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who's kind of woke up yesterday and said, I think I'm gifted?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what did you wish you'd known earlier or had kind of moved in a different? I know we all move at our own pace, but
If you woke up in the morning and you said, I think I'm gifted, I would tell you you are right.
right.
That's the only thing I would ever tell you. And please investigate and please grow that feeling within.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of us woke up and said, I am not gifted. We've all woken up one morning and said, I think I'm gifted.
Today's a good day to be different.
Day. So that's what I would tell them. I would
And
say,
what did you know? What did you wish you'd gotten on to earlier?
what I would have wished that I would have known earlier is to, how can I put this in a better way? I would have sped up my acceptance with letting go of a lot of my ego.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have learned to let go of my ego sooner, all of that BS of all the teachings that I had of religion or my teachings, or that one saying, well, that's just how I was raised. That was one of my answers I've ever, just letting go of all of that. I don't care what your previous teachings was, and allow my ego to be set aside. I would have sped up a lot of this. I wouldn't have gotten to almost 60 years old and doing that. I would have been doing it more in my 30s.
You're such a baby. At 60, I've only got 16 years on you.
I know. But
okay.
I would have been doing
is there anything you do every day or exercises you would recommend? And how soon did you notice when you started making like more regular understandings of your skills? How long did it take for people to notice you kind of shifted?
What was the first part of the question?
It was, do you have any daily habits or exercises you do?
So here's the thing about when you're doing, especially in the political realm, one of my jobs is just to listen to the news constantly. Okay, I know
you can have it. You can have it. Thank you.
I know you don't do it, but I do. My channel is based on political readings.
I know.
Therefore, I am listening to the news and watching and getting a feeling on it so that I can understand what's going on there. Blah blah blah. Okay, as a constant feed in here. So how do I combat that? How do I get away from that? What I do is at night. There is a whole bunch on YouTube you can do. While you sleep. There is meditation while you sleep. There is hypnosis while you sleep. I run a constant feed of spiritual information every night, because I know while I sleep, my brain is going to reconnect to information, fill me with good stuff, and by the time I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling pretty dang good, right? The other things that I do is when I take a break, of course, I have an opportunity. I have children, I have grandchildren. I enjoy every moment with them a lot. Let's see, what else do I do? My dogs.
Oh, your dog's so cute.
All of it, yeah. So, I mean, I have that type of stuff. I have in place a lot of things that keep me from grounded. Now, do I meditate? I am a meditator, conscious meditator. I don't know if that how to explain this. I could be talking to you right now, and my spirit will sit back into whatever it's called. I don't know how else to describe it. Then my spirit will sit back. If you had a question, I can sit back in here and I can do conscious meditation. And while it's back there trying to investigate a question, it'll come forward and say, here's the answer. And I am still talking to you. So I've learned how to do that and just pause I don't give out answers right away. I try to think about them. I allow, the information just to come through like fluently, things like that. So there's just a lot of just being versus
Mhm.
anything else that I do. So
Yeah. Okay. How can someone find a trustworthy psychic mentor? And what are any red flags you would avoid? Now, you've already said you're not a big joiner. Neither am I. So I put this question in there just because I get it a lot. And my answer always is, I'm not a big joiner and I go with my gut. But what's your sort of thing about looking for someone to teach you?
looking for somebody to teach you.
Or someone to help you on your psychic journey?
That's a hard one because sometimes you have to kiss a lot of frogs to get a prince, in theory, right? Some of my red flags, if they do not have a humility button, if they say that they're all knowing, they're never wrong, run, because
Mhm.
that'll never be the truth. We all know that every once in a while I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, but there's times I am wrong. I misinterpret the information, um, things like that.
I
Or
have a little show I could resurrect for them about who's going to be in the Senate right now that you and I did. That is a prime example. I mean, I think we were right for the energy on that day,
yeah,
but try to explain that to someone who followed it.
yeah. That's the honest to goodness truth is they have to have an element of humility inside them in order for them, because a true psychic knows that they're not 100% right. In fact, statistically, if you like statistics, if a psychic is at least between 80 to 85% right in what she is saying and what or he or she is doing,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good psychic. That's a good rule of thumb right there, because we're only human. We may interpret the information. Spirit's 100% right. Sheila interprets sometimes goofy. All right, that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to, I think, in order to find somebody who is truthful, is if they're kind.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of tell somebody who is in it for the money, because it's like, yeah, an extra card's $5. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
can always tell when they're in it for the money. I do know that we have to be reciprocal. I give you a reading, you give me money. This is reciprocal energy. We know that is way we do it.
Unfortunately, in our society, the exchange that's easiest in our world is to get some kind of recompense for the time we spend doing something.
Right. So that's like, but when somebody's trying to, like, you can just feel it if they're in it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're gonna tell you, oh yeah, he loves you. Oh yeah, she loves you. She's at, this, that, and the other. You kind of know. I think
Mm-hmm.
another way of knowing if somebody is really into this and really enjoys and like really wants to be honest with you is if they have how can I put this? I'm trying to put this in the most delicate way possible. Um, if they can look at you and give you the world news. Oops, what's going on?
My daughter's getting some ice.
Sorry.
I live in a house with other people. They need to get ice, so they're not going to make it through the night.
It's all right. It's all right. They were able to deliver bad news to you, like I was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Passion and love.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who is blunt enjoys your pain. That's my theory about all of that. I'm not somebody who, if you hurt my child or my grandchild, I am going to be blunt and mean to you because I expect you to receive it, because you can't hurt my grandchild that way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I am delivering, like we're in this realm and we're giving you a message from spirit, it should be delivered with compassion
Mm-hmm.
at all times. So those are the few ways that you can do. I'm not talking about the sensitive one, no matter how bad they get and no matter what, some sensitive people just receive bad information no matter what. We're not
some people are never going to hear what you say, no matter good, bad, or indifferent. But
that is true. That's on them. That's on them. I remember I was getting a facial one time. Oh, these are the things that it reminds me of. Like, they're so important to me. I was getting a facial one day, and the person I was supposed to get a facial from, I didn't get it. It was like, it was all shifted around, and I ended up with her. Is what like, yeah, okay, facial's a facial. So I go in there, and she's putting in on all the stuff on, and she's going there, and all of a sudden, I'm an empath, so I wick out information from people whether they want it or not, and they just say stuff to me, and they don't even
know if they're touching you.
Yeah, they just say stuff, and they don't even know why, and I know why, but they don't know why. So for some reason, when she was doing all of this, she had a moment where she was kind of frustrated. Somebody must have hurt her feelings, and they walked out of her room that she had, very upset. Do a good job, this, that, and the other. Okay, so she was really kind of upset about it, but I was going there, and I sat there, and I just gave her like this little tiny little tidbit of thing, and I said, honey, you are offering a calm, wonderful place. You're calm, your space is great, you have this great energy, and if she wasn't willing to receive it, she's going to blame it on you. And she said, thank you for that, because she cannot make somebody accept her peace and her comfort and what she was doing, because she was a wonderful, I forget the name of them, but she was
estheticians.
Yeah, she was wonderful at it, right? And I said, if they're not able to receive your goodness, they're going to blame it on you.
That's right. They were looking for a place to go dump that energy. So don't accept it and let them deal with it.
Exactly. So she did, yeah. So in without that information, she took it on. And the funny thing about it is it was like this really weird happenstance where I was in her thing. You know what I mean? Like the universe literally
they sent you there to be her guardian angel.
Yeah, she said, like, the universe literally just took a wand and went, and you were with her. You know what I mean? That day, it was really weird, and I delivered the information that she desperately needed in order for her to continue on and not take on that energy.
Well, and
those are the things.
You'll be happy to know this is the last question.
Okay.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned in your psychic journey?
Biggest lesson.
You can, if you could say it in one sentence or 6 sentences or whatever.
The biggest lesson: we are all connected no matter what. Be careful with your energy you're producing. I think that's the biggest lesson I've ever learned. It goes all the way back. That's the biggest lesson I've ever learned. We are all connected. And whatever energy you're producing is also either you're contributing the goodness or you're contributing the hate. So just be careful of what you say and what you think and what you're putting out there.
Yep. Well, since we are both tarot readers, I did pull a card for this reading, and it was strength. And I think Sheila has shown strength. And it almost looks, that's how red your hair used to be, right? When you were young?
Yeah, I was a redhead.
Well, there's Sheila petting the lion. She's petting it for all of us. Thank you so much for coming on, Sheila. Thanks so much to everyone who's come here. I'll have my 1 o'clock show tomorrow, and I've got 2 different topics in mind, but it's going to be basically basics on what to look at when you want to start building your skills. We're going to be doing some skill building here for a while. And thank you for sharing your skills and abilities with us. Everyone have a lovely evening. Bye, Sheila.
Bye.